Hello and welcome to Fiber Town. This is episode 103. It's the, I wrote down the 18th, but it's not. It's the 19th of March, 2015. I'm here with Alice, and we want to talk to you about lots of things. It's been quite a week, and it's been a great week. It's been a sad week. We've had a loss in our community. One of my neighbors, who was a kindergarten teacher at my son's school, passed away. She had been fighting cancer for 17 months, and my friend Leanne and I had made her a cushion, a knitted cushion, in her favorite color, which was purple. Yeah, purple, her favorite color. I don't know what in that phrase made that head swivel. Okay. Anyway, so very sad. Her two boys are my kids' age, and it's horrible. Sorry to be a downer. We do have lots of fun stuff to talk about as well. In fact, it's all falling down all around us. Go get your toy. I told you. I have taken to drinking coffee again, and I haven't done that in 10 years. So that's how much I need to recover. You can tell how tired I look. How much I need to recover from this weekend. Okay, enough blather and blether. Have you guys checked out the Riot of Color Kickstarter? She's trying to pay for a new van for her business. Pretty awesome. And there are good things you can get from it. So go check it out. I put the link in last episode's show notes. I might put it in again if I remember. But check it out, please. She's got great yarn. And there is the March FO thread, which is cowls. Any FOs can be entered, but if you knit a cowl, it gets a second entry. If you knit a hand-spun cowl, out of any hand-spun, it doesn't have to be yours, you get a third entry. I doubt I will not finish my handspun cowl this month. And it's supposed to be a kick in the pants for me to see everyone else doing it. My attention has been diverted. So, let me tell you what I finished this week, and then I'll show you by what my attention has been diverted. Finished this barn raising quilt square. Isn't that fun? This is from Vesper Sock Yarn. This is the Socktober Spooktacular. Alice really likes it. And this was from Knit Tricks, my swap partner. That was a lot of fun, that swap. I got another swap box yesterday, and swaps have treated me well so far, folks. I've been very lucky. I do have a second barn raising quilt FO, and if you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw this one. This was out of some Claudia hand paints. Look at the colors. Ugh, I made baby socks out of this long ago. And if you are an astute viewer and have had your coffee, like me, you will notice this is not a square. In fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a pentagon. I swear I was not drinking until I bound this off, okay? I bound this off. I started it on the train to Williamsburg on Friday. This will be my history unwound square. It'll be a great memory. And it looks like pretty much right away I put an extra set of yarn overs in there and made a pentagon. So imagine my surprise. I didn't even notice all weekend. This is just such autopilot knitting that, oh no, wait, maybe I didn't do it right away. I think actually it's this line of stitches right here that doesn't start right away. At any rate, I bound off. I was sitting in a bar listening to two old fogies play some Beatles songs. They rocked pretty hard, but I was tapping my toes, singing along to Blackbird and I had one beer and a sandwich And then I had been there already for 2 hours just enjoying myself immensely. I was in a wing chair by a fireplace. I know. Smelling the smoky goodness of the fire, listening to the music. By that time, I had ordered a 14-year-old whiskey. Sorry, it wasn't a whiskey. Well, it was whiskey. It was scotch. Whiskey without an E at the end. I was so psyched to be binding it off and thinking, oh, this will be part of the memory. When, to my surprise, it was not a square. Yeah. It'll get ripped out and redone. And it'll be double the memories. Today, I am basically wearing sweats. And so I decided to wrap myself in this gorgeous piece of woven stuff. It was a friend gave this to me, a coworker. I don't get to see her very much. And I pulled it out the other day because it matched what I was wearing. And this is really great dimensions. I'm going to use this. My loom is not big enough, not wide enough to weave fabric this big, unless I did like a double weave. I think there's a way to do that, but I'm scared. But this is great dimensions. I love the dimensions, so I'm going to hang on to this as someday as use for a future project. Fingers crossed. Okay, that's it for FOs. Let's whip it, shall we? Okay, works in progress. My sock yarn blanket. Let's show that off. I have all this stuff. So I'm well over 150 squares on this thing now. And this week, what do we have this week? We have, this is a Wandering Wool sample I got at Virginia Beach, the Yarn Getaway. It's a silk merino blend from, as I said, Wandering Wool. I did this. This is out of Twisted Limon. It's an English self-striping dyer. And this is a mix of 100% silk from Blue Ridge Fibers and just some random pink bit. Got my jingle bells on there. This is more handspun from Memers. This is about all of the rest of the handspun she sent me. She has a Hudson Valley Knits podcast, and she sent me some handspun. This is Hazelnut's Artisan Sock, and that's out of the socks I'm knitting right now, my second pair of herbaceous socks. So, it's coming along. It's as fun as ever, and a source of great pleasure. Ellie is back. Hi, darling. I told you to get a toy. How come you didn't bring a toy? Okay, then I have my herbaceous socks. Herbaceous, potato. I finished one. I have a hoe. You like it, Al? Must smell everything. So I only did 2 repeats of the pattern on the leg. That's a shorter leg. And there's the gusset. So yeah, finished that this weekend at the conference. And I'm making the second one. And I just finished the heel flap. There it is. And I've done the lace heel flap. My other pair of these has held up pretty well for not a lot of nylon content. I think I said that this had no nylon content. No, it has 10%. I rechecked. So this is Artisan Sock. Do I have the ball band? Yes, I do. Artisan Sock by Hazelknits in the colorway Hoppy Blonde. And I got a bunch of these when Fiberspace had them in stock a couple of years ago. I really like them. And lately they've only gotten the fancier, more luxury kind of blends. And I think a DK as well. So I haven't seen them get the Artisan Sock anymore. I would love to get some more though. I really like the colors. They're interesting tonal-ish colors, but so you can use them in a lot more patterns. You can use them for lace, but they're interesting colors to knit, and they have a variety of tones in them. Here's my girl. She's been stuck to me like glue. Yes, you have. Okay. Alrighty, so There was something else I wanted. Oh, I totally skipped. I ran a contest. If you sent in questions for the folks I was going to interview at History Unwound, you were entered to win a skein of my handspun. And it was your choice between this purpley pink and this purpley orange. This was Dragonfly, and this was Into the World, an Into the World bat. I think this is Falkland, and this is Polwar Silk. And the winner, randomly chosen, was number 6, who is Tokyo City Girl. So this will be going to Tokyo, one of these. So tell me which one you'd like, Tokyo City Girl. And thank you, everybody. Thank you for your questions. I used them, yo. I did. All right, so I also have my foolproof cowl, but that's gotten like half a row done on it. So I'll just mention it, but I will not show it. That's out of my Gourmet Stash handspun yak silk 50/50. Now I'm getting my hand licked. Okay, thank you. No, thank you. Spinning. Finished a hobbledehoy bat. My second one. You know, I kind of admit that I hoarded this one until it was closer to Maryland sheep and wool. I bought 2 of these last year. And this one was like art yarn spinning. So, hobbledehoy. One of those dyers I could not live without. Continental Drift art bat. There's the contents. I got 70 yards. And so I spun a 2-ply. I just ripped it in half and went away. And there were some add-ons in here. And they were locks. They were those mystery locks. And I tried to do a sort of a tail spun scenario with those, where I insert the locks. Let me see if I could find you a good one. I inserted locks, and sometimes I let them hang out of the yarn. See, there's some more up there. This is going to be weft for a woven project. And I'm getting more at Maryland Sheep and Wool. More hobbledehoy. So I'm thinking as I weave the weft, those locks will pop out and add some fun texture. So 70 yards of mostly a chunky to bulky, with maybe some worsted spots once in a while, and probably some super chunky spots too, or super bulky. So, love this. I think this would make an awesome garment, some sort of woven garment. What else? I'm a bit scattered. What? Okay. I also have, since Maryland is coming up, I was looking at my fiber stash, and I have a lot of Into the World that I haven't touched, that I've been hoarding as well. So I got out my Captain Tight Pants, which is a merino cashmere nylon blend, and this is what's left. The rest of it is spun. I'm spinning this fairly fine, and I'm going to chain ply it, or Navajo ply it, to make a sock yarn. Now, I'm not really keeping the colors separate. I'm letting them barber pole as they will, and it's fine with me. I'll have just a marled look to the yarn in places. So, Captain Tight Pants, that's an Into the World. That's a Firefly reference for Captain Malcolm, what is his last name? Not Gladwell, that's an author. I digress. All right. Since we're talking spinning, let me tell you about the spinning class I took at the conference. Retreat conference. It had a very conference-y feel to me, more than a retreat feel. It was packed full of really good classes. I took 2 excellent classes. I attended 2 or 3 excellent lectures. And the spinning class that I took was with Beth Smith of the Spinner's Book of Fleece. Yeah. She is sparkly and wears pink, and she's delightful and gorgeous and funny, and she got the knowledge. I had a great class with her. And I have to say, I have been skeptical of I've taken a lot of adult ed in my life, and continuing education credits for my profession, and it's pretty rare that I get a good amount of knowledge out of these classes. So I go into it with a, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be good. These were good. These were good classes. It's quite often my adult ed classes are, I have to go for the credits. Maybe that's what makes them not fun. At any rate, her class was called Presidential Fleece, and we sampled 5 fleeces that had some sort of connection to different presidents of the United States throughout history. We started with Hog Island, and I'm not going to go in order. I'm just going to show you, and I'm not going to give away the secret sauce too much, but we did Shetland, and this was my little sample spinning. I just took a spindle. And I got to sit with some fun ladies in that class. Choco Cat Mom and Les Fish were 2 who come to mind. And I have not been able to keep my hands out of the Shetland bag. So we process the locks either by carding or combing or flicking or spinning right from them. I love the Shetland. So wonderful. So this is washed but not processed Shetland. Isn't it pretty? So there was Shetland. There was Navajo churro. And this is one I had never touched before. Sorry about the plasticky noises. And this is a double-coated fleece. And there was my sample. I got a really thin sample from that one. And I had somehow expected this, because it was double-coated, etc., to be very, you can see the white, I don't know what they call it, the tog and the thell in Shetland, the different kinds of parts of the fleece. And she showed us how to separate them. And this one is very, especially the undercoat, the down, is very soft. Very, very soft. And what I got is lovely. So this is one I never really thought, I thought maybe this was a rug yarn. No, this is a nice yarn. Not that rug yarns aren't nice. And then this is Tunis. This was another surprise to me. This used to be one of the very predominant sheep in the country. There's some of the washed but non-processed locks. And this was very downy to me. It reminded me a bit of the Clun Forest I'd spun. So kind of minimally processed. You can see there's, but came out, this is a 2-ply, came out fairly thin, and I really enjoyed this. Surprisingly fun. You can see it's very, smells, there's a lot of lanolin left in this one. This one is still, you know, it's got a fairly short staple. It has a super crimp that kind of, as I pull it apart, it comes back. It's got a super crimp. And the crimp is very much more apparent towards the tip. So Tunis. And then we have English Leicester. And Williamsburg is a hotbed, the hotbed of English Leicester, which is a critically endangered breed. And this is one of the Leicester long wools, and the Ply Magazine this month, or this quarter, Alice likes this one. Yeah. The Ply Magazine this quarter is about long wools. I mean the Leicesters, rather. Look at that. Look at that. So long wools are the 3 Leicesters, which are English Leicester, Blueface Leicester, and Border Leicester. Other long wools would include Wensleydale, Teesdale, and this I combed because, yeah, very long locks. There's fairly thin, that's 1 ply. I'm sorry, that's 1 2-ply of my sample. So this was English Leicester, and Colonial Williamsburg has a flock of English Leicesters, Leicester long wools. And let me just show you, there's a single that I didn't get plied, but it's an incredibly long staple length and very strong. That's a single, yeah. They're so lustrous and beautiful. I don't remember, maybe she said this one was a lamb's fleece. That's probably a 6-inch lock. I think sometimes these sheep are shorn twice a year, but don't quote me on that. So a very open crimp and very, very shiny, especially when you keep them all together. This doesn't really capture it as shiny as it is in person. So that was fun to spin too. More about English long wools later. There was some Duke of Gloucester Street, which locals call Dog Street. That's where you will find the English Leicesters grazing in colonial Williamsburg. And there were some lambs that time of year. Now this one is Hog Island. I've talked about Hog Island before. I don't have a plied sample of Hog Island, but here's a single. And I think this came from the Accotink farm. Accotink is one place that has a flock of Hog Island. Mount Vernon is another. And this is a sheep with a story, a really cool story. Very inconsistent staple lengths. And did you guys bargain for this much sheepiness on this show? I'm sorry if you didn't. I'm sorry if you're like, just get to the yarn you bought. Look at that. So not a lot of crimp, or really disorganized crimp, and but still a good fleece and really fun to spin. They're a primitive sheep, you know. I'd like to say hence all the VM in here, all the vegetable matter. No. I think that they are definitely not coated, and they like to roll around. My other Hog Island fleece was incredibly dirty, just like that. That's pretty clean. So very fun class. I got to come away with all the stuff I just want to play with all day. In fact, I've been so excited to work on my fleeces that it's mostly what I've done since I've been back. And so I got out my oldest fleece, which is not that old. It's been around since last year's Shenandoah 2013, and it's a lamb fleece, and it's all in this, along with my tools, all in this basket. This is a Coopworth Cotswold cross. Little lamb. See, there's the cut edge right there, cut where the fleece was shorn, and there's the tip. And I always refer to this guy as my crinkle fries fleece, and I've been combing it. And so I set myself a bunch of locks to comb every day, and I have in my Ross Farm fibers bag, more about that, I have these nests, just like reaching into the clouds. So this is going to be my next fleece to be spun, and I'm thinking it's going to be lace weight-ish. It'll be a lace weight project. Is that it for fleece and spinning? I think so. All right, so on to acquisitions. And first off, let's see, I have to go to the bus stop in 20 minutes, so I better speed up here. The Virginia Beach Yarn Getaway. I got to hang out with none other than Joan of Lollipop Yarn. Yep. And she very, very generously allowed the attendees to pre-shop her next shop preview, shop update. I know, all I could get was one skein, but I got a lovely one. And oh shoot. Okay, I never remember the tag for Lollipop Yarns. What is up with that? I got this. This is called Serenity Now, and it comes with a heel toe. And my light is funky right now. This is purple. This is a type of lollipop yarn called gripes, and that means gradient stripes. I know. So you've got gradient purples and gradient grays. Serenity Now. Beautiful. And her hand wound balls are super squishy, and I saw how she does that because she was winding yarn at Virginia Beach. She has a trick to that, and she's like horrified by, you know, when you wind a yarn in a ball and it's super tight. It's bad for the yarn, man. Gotta respect the yarn. So comes in these cute little sachet bags. It's gonna go on my shelf, but this will probably get knit this summer. So that was an acquisition that had been in the works for a while. Now, at History Unwound, I did buy some things. Yes, I did. And I won some prizes. I won, let me show you what I won. And I was in the goodie bag, was given some things. Martha Stewart Crafts. This is a wool acrylic blend. This is fabulous for warping my loom, I believe. So that will get used for that, most likely. I also received, and I've wound up already, Annie Modisette has a yarn. This is my next Barn Raising Quilt Square cast on. And this is a beautiful hand-painted fingering from Annie Modisette. It's called Mode Knits. And I will come across the tag eventually and show it to you. I have still not quite recovered and unpacked and organized from this trip. So that's going to be my next Barn Raising Quilt Square. So check out Annie's yarn. Really beautiful stuff. Everyone got a mini skein. I was also, this was in my grab bag also, or my goodie bag, some Regia with K Facet. This will be awesome for my sock yarn blankets, as well as socks. I got lots and lots of unicorn fiber wash packets. It's fiber wash and fiber rinse. So give it a try. I do like that you don't have to rinse the soak, but now this was part of a prize I won. This is the sort of Primo Lion brand line. This is silk mohair. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous. 3 skeins. So this is like almost 900 yards worth of silk mohair. And it came with this awesome vintage Lion brand pattern book. And these patterns are, hang on, there's knit, there's crochet in here, and they're pretty awesome. And there are things in here, a few things in here that I could see myself making, like, oh yeah, this one. No, this one. Crocheted shawl with cuffs. I love that style. Okay, the patterns are a little different. And Franklin Habit talked a lot about vintage knitting patterns. That was a really interesting part of the weekend. I got a bunch of piecework magazines, as well as a Vogue, this summer's Vogue. So yeah, a lot of cool and interesting things. There was a beautiful fleece that was a door prize. There was a beautiful Strauch ball winder that was a door prize. So yeah, let me show you what I bought. I bought from 2 places. I bought from the Dirt Woman. This is dyed with cochineal, which are insects, mainly from Central and South America. And before the New World was discovered, you know, people mostly used, I guess, madder. And once cochineal made, I read a book about cochineal once, nonfiction, and how it had influenced different markets. And it really made getting an amazing red much easier. So there was a whole industry and political economy around it, as you can imagine. So this is a sock yarn. It's got merino and nylon. It's called Bug Number 1. And the Dirt Woman, she's from the northern neck of Virginia, Dirt Woman Fiber Arts. And Dirt Woman, because she grows a lot of her own dye plants. And she had really cool stuff. And so I had to try this. Then I went to Ross Farms. Ross Farm Fibers. Preserving rare breeds one skein at a time. They have 9 types of sheep. And I went a little crazy. Got something for my swap partner. And then for me, I picked up some stuff. I picked up a Leicester long wool that is just stunning. This is from Kimberly, American Livestock Breed Conservancy, Critical. This is a worsted 3-ply, 160 yards, 4 ounces. And, you know, I showed you those shiny little locks, those shiny locks from my class. This is the sheep. And this is spun to, it preserves the luster. It is soft. A lot of those, you get a little halo, but no pokey ends to prickle you at all. This is not prickly at all. I love it. And then I got my hands on the Shetland. This is Demetria. Look at that face. Look at that face. Ooh, doesn't like the contrast of the black and the... This is actually a very dark brown. This is a sport weight? Yes, sport weight 2-ply, and it's so nice. I think Shetland is going to be my new thing. And this is so more of a... This is a Moret Shetland from Jasmine, 3-ply sport. It's so squishy. I think this is going to be a cabled hat. I adore it. 250 yards, maybe a hat and fingerless mitt set. They had Jacob, Leicester Longwools, Shetland. They had some Tunis. I can't remember because I was so focused on the Shetland. I love it. And I talked to Amy and Scooter Pie. They have a podcast called Transient Wool Merchants. At least Amy does the podcast with her friend who has a dye business, a wool dye business called Gershubi Fiber Arts. And they were so much fun, and they are so awesome. And I would love to interview them at some point, and I'm looking into how to do that from a distance. Because we had a great talk, and I actually was late to another interview because I lost track of time talking to Amy, and just about her farm and her family and her sheep and her business, her dogs, and yeah, so hopefully that will be in the future, in the near future. They're going to be at Maryland Sheep and Wool, and they're going to be in the Lower Corral, so near the podcaster meetup, and they do a beautiful job. They really do a beautiful job at a hard thing to do. So, yeah, I definitely like to follow them and keep supporting them. And I maybe getting a Shetland fleece. More about that later from the Ross Farm. Because Shetland, it's my new thing. I also won this. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is called Chameleon, and I am just blown away because it's called Chameleon. This is from Moose Manor Hand Paints, Tamarack Fingering. It's just a superwash merino. So this is from Maine. No, sorry, inspired by the beauty of southern Vermont. I won this for guessing who was wearing a certain pair of cowboy boots. And that was PDX Knitterati, who is Michelle, and I had a lot of fun hanging out with her this weekend. Anyway, the yarn I'm holding in my hand, and I'm looking at it with my eyes, it's gray. But no matter, you put this up in different lights, and it is different colors, hence the name Chameleon. Let me see if I can make it change color. It's so weird. It's greenish in some lights or gray, and in this weird light here, it's completely pink. If you saw this in person at History Unwound, I know you're astounded. Okay, maybe I'll try to take a picture with my phone. All right, so I won that as well. I've got 8 minutes till the bus, so I've got to speed this up. Okay, let me tell you about the interviews I did. And they are all on this camera. And there we go, handy cam. I don't know how to get them off this camera yet, because I usually just record on my computer. And let's see. There they are. Can you all see that? There's Beth, there's Ron Strong, Anna Zilborg, and Donna Dracunis. Those are the 4 folks I got to interview. Just time ran out for the others, but I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled to have been able to talk to those folks. And I will be putting them, either splicing them into this episode or producing separate episodes. What an opportunity. And I just say, thank you so much to the History Unwound people. Definitely have great things to say about this weekend. It was a lot of fun. It was a great opportunity for me, and I made some really nice connections. Okay, speaking of connections, the Soulful Stash swap. I was partnered with Heather, 013 something. Can never remember the numbers, Heather, but I've been so lucky with swaps. So she sent me this big box, and she had drawn a little pastoral scene on the outside of the box. And she sent me a wonderful package of Soulful Stash, including, was this Romney yep, this is Romney from the Drumlin Farm in Massachusetts. It's a bulky single, which I love. This is so great for mittens, because even though it's a single, it's really soft and would be super warm. Love that. And she also sent me, because great minds think alike, some more wool dyed with cochineal. And this is from the Old Sturbridge Village, and she's given me literature to read about both of these places, both of the yarn places. So this looks like a fingering, and it's a 2-ply, and it's like a Harrisville. This would play very well with my stash of Harrisville and loft and that kind of thing. So thank you so much, but that is not all. No. She sent me some scraps for my blankets, including one that she had used to make collywobbles from. Super awesome. And all sorts of little goodies, like this adorable boy postcard. Ooh, there's a pattern for mittens. I didn't even notice that. She also sent me 2 packages of Necco wafers, which is a local delicacy. And man, I hadn't had those in years and years and years. Let me take these all out. There's the other pack. They are made in the original candy wafer, made in the USA since 1847. There's a map of Lowell, where she's from, which was an old, historically a wool-producing town. Look at these sheep or animals from, I haven't looked through these yet, from Drumlin's farm that she would visited in March. So I get some sheepy close-ups. And just full of local information, really cool stuff. And then another local delicacy, which my children have said, that's for us. Marshmallow fluff. And how to make, apparently this is eaten with peanut butter on bread. And if you're doing it right, it's like you eat it with Wonder Bread. I do love marshmallow though. I don't know if I'd put it with peanut butter, but it could be really delicious. So, marshmallow fluff. So, a fantastic package. Again, I've been spoiled. And her package is all packed up and ready to go as well. Just need to get to the post office. Okay, I also received my Ply Magazine, and look at the theme. Leicesters, the Leicesters. I know. The Ross Farm is mentioned in here a couple times, and go check them out. I'm almost finished reading this. I think I'm on this article right here, which is called High or Low. So this one is full of, yeah, top or bottom. This one is full of awesome information, and that's my bus alarm going off. Oh, goody. Now the question is, oh, I'm sitting on my phone. This has been a weird episode. I apologize if I have been incredibly disjointed. I had an Ask Fibertown to get to, and I'm not going to get to it. But there's always next time. Now, I want to show you one last thing that came in the mail. Yes. This is the Sacred Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival catalog for 2015. And that's gorgeous watercolor artwork this year. So that will be on all the swag. I might have to get myself a t-shirt this year. And I'm starting my prep. Yes, indeed. I am very interested in picking up a triangle loom, a 6 or 7 foot tri loom. So if you are wanting to sell a triangle loom, talk to me, because that would save me having to do the auction. You know what I mean? Anyway, if you've got one to sell, drop me a line and we'll talk. I could pick it up at Maryland. Let's see what else. I think this year at Maryland I'm going to bring 5-gram balls of scraps, so we can do an exchange. If you want to exchange some sock yarn scraps, we can totally do that. So it'll be like a nice icebreaker for meeting people. Hey, Emily, let's trade sock yarn, and then we'll trade. Sound good? If you don't want to trade and you just want to give me scraps, that'd be great too. So I definitely like to do that this year. And yeah, Alice, you got anything to add? Al, do you want to go to the bus now? Whoa, that's a sleepy face. Your face is all smushed from sleeping. Yes, it is. Okay, so we have to go to the bus stop. Get the boy. We have to get the boy at the bus. Yeah, I've taught her the word bus now, and she's so smart. So folks, hope you've enjoyed this episode of Weirdness, and I will definitely see you again soon. As soon as I get those interviews up, I will put them out. You all take care. All right, bye-bye.